session, the Hindu editorial analysis for proficiency in English. Let us start with the snippets. The very first snippet, age debate. In Supreme Court, Centre rejects lowering of consent age. If you don't have the, good morning, aspirant, if you don't have the background information, a snippet like this, very difficult to understand. But if you, good morning, Naidu, and others also. If you remember, I did one editorial. According to one trend in the recent past, people, youngsters between 16 and 18, they are going in for a relationship and they're indulging in sexual this thing. And today we know a particular act is there. According to that, below 18, if someone uses force when it comes to having sex, there'll be booked, a case will be booked against those people. But based on that trend, some people have demanded, and in courts also, cases have been filed. It has to bring down to 16 years because between 16 and 18, they're getting into this sort of relationship. And they should bring it down from 18 to 16 because they're doing it with mutual consent. Consent means agreement. Mutual consent, why should we file a case against them? It doesn't come under POCSO Act. And it is related to that. In Supreme Court, Centre rejects lowering of consent age. They have not agreed. It is at 18. They want to keep it at 18. They don't want to bring it down to 16. That's how you have to look at it. But one important word, consent means what? Give the approval to say yes. That you have to know. Coming to the next one. July Declaration. July Declaration, this goes with Bangladesh and UNIS, WOWs. How do you pronounce this? WOW. WOW, that is also WOW. But this is WOW. Constitutional Status for 2024 Uprising. There's one important word here. And what is the meaning of this? To promise to do something. And here uprising has two different meanings. One meaning it goes with a large number of people protest. Then we use the word uprising, revolt, uprising, protest on a large scale. Another meaning of uprising, a natural calamity, destructs on a large scale, devastating impact. Then also we use uprising. Going to the next snippet, seasoned figure. There is one important word. Seasoned. Seasoning goes with cooking. I am sure many of you know. But what is a seasoned figure? Seasoned means experienced. Imagine someone has a lot of experience in a particular field. Then we say seasoned politician. Seasoned in a particular player, you can say. Seasoned, Naidu, good. Seasoned actor means with a lot of experience. That's an important word. Who is a seasoned figure? Last Jammu and Kashmir Governor Satyapal Malik dies. It is about the last Jammu and Kashmir Governor, Mr. Satyapal. He passed away, dies. Sometimes you may wonder, he has already died, then it should be in past. But why is it in present? Present tense has 7 uses. One of the uses, it is used by journalists only for headlines to express past and future events. So don't get confused. Greenhorn, inexperienced. Very good, Naidu. Novice, greenhorn. We have another snippet over here, data point. Bihar SAR shows concerning trends. One important word, concerning trends, concern. You have to recollect the common error. I want to meet the concerned person, wrong. I want to meet the person concerned is correct. High voter deletions in Muslim majority districts, analysis shows. This SAR has been in the limelight for quite some time, say about 2 or 3 weeks, and has been controversial. One more controversy over here. It says, yes, Naidu, good, and Pravalika, very good. Coming to one more issue, it talks about certain, if you go to Bihar, UP, that said, majority, some areas, you may come across a lot of Muslims. According to this snippet, majority, Muslim majority areas over there, it seems they have deleted many voters. Delete means to remove. That has become controversial. Deletions, noun form. Coming to the next snippet, Chennai Grand Masters. You can easily make out uh, it goes with chess. Arjun headlines a strong masters field. It goes with nothing to learn as such. Let us go to the main headline. You can see a pic, but before that, what is the headline? Flash floods in Uttarakhand leave 4 dead. There's one word here. Flash usually goes with studios and photography, but in this context, flash floods means sudden floods. And you have to recollect a flash dance, mob dance. In a mall, all of a sudden, some youngsters start dancing. That is known as mob dance or flash dance. Here, flash floods. When you see the word floods, you have to think of words like inundation, deluge, submerge, and get washed away, all these things. Coming to blink of an eye. Blink of an eye, an important expression. Blink of an eye means just like that, within no time. Before you close and open your eyes, if something happens. Then we use the idiomatic expression, blink of an eye. Do remember, important. You can see the houses here, you can see the houses here. But in the third pic, here a few houses, but all the houses have got washed away. The news item says a particular village has got washed away because of flash floods. Yes, you have to think of heavy rain, heavy downpour, rain cats and dogs, torrential rains, rain in torrents. Cracker Jack, very good. All these you have to recollect. Many feared washed away after water from Kher Ganga river swept through Dharali in Uttarkashi. Local authorities estimate that around 60 to 70 people are missing or trapped in the area. 9 army personnel feared missing, 20 people rescued in first 3 hours, army officers says. Devastating. Let us go to, yes, Vishnu. Devastating is the right word. And corpse, dead body, found dead, dead body, corpse, cadaver, dead body, you have to recollect. NDA leaders hail PM for Operation Sindoor success. There is one word here, hail. Hail has got 3 different meanings. One meaning to praise. In this context, NDA leaders praise the Prime Minister based on the Sindoor, Operation Sindoor success. And second one, hail. I hail from Vishakhapatnam. I hail from Vizag. That means I belong to Vizag, I belong to Vishakhapatnam, I come from Vishakhapatnam. Manisha says, I could attend only 21 in English, 21 out of 30. 21 out of how many? Which exam is that? SBI? Okay, fine. I don't know about your preparation, but that seems okay. Coming to hail, you have to think of a compound noun. What is that compound noun? Hailstorm. And when you think of hailstorm, you have to think of hurricane, cyclone, thunder, lightning, and hailstorm, tornado. All these things you have to think of. Coming to the next news snippet, RTC employees are postponed strike after a High Court order. There's one important word. What is that? Postpone. And also strike. Go on strike. That preposition is important. I know 40, Manisha. 21 seems to be okay, 50%. But I always tell students, if you out of 30, imagine, you get between 18 and 21, you should be happy. Accordingly, you have to change proportionately. Out of 30, between 18 and 21, that's a wonderful, very good score. And 18 out of 30, 60%, 21 out of 30, 70%, good enough to get the final selection. Coming to strike, go on strike. And you have to recollect words like placards, protest, all those. We have got many a time. And postpone. What is the other word? Who is this? Kumar. Very good. Kranti Kumar. Procrastination. Pravalika also. Procrastination is a major problem. Not only it goes with youngsters, it goes with anyone, any age group. Today, if you go to the corporate world, because of procrastination means what? Postponing things. When will you do it? Tomorrow. Tomorrow also the same question. Tomorrow also the same answer. Tomorrow. And procrastination is a bad habit. They conduct workshops how to overcome this bad habit of procrastination, an important word. But what is the opposite of postpone? Prepone. Prepone, Indians have created, Indian origin, and till 1972, it was not part of standard British English, but 1972 it was accepted. Today, the word prepone is part of standard British English. No second thoughts about that. Put off also you can say, very good. Law requires that center issue ID to all citizens government. Law demands something. And what does it demand? Requires what? Center should issue ID cards to all citizens. This is a statement given by the government. Now let us go to a pic. You see a pic over here. You see only one person and a few persons scattered here and there, but all the shops closed. That means uneasy calm. At the time of some disturbance in a particular area, we come across uneasy calm. And when you see the word, who is this? Very good. Satish Kumar. When you see uneasy calm, you have to recollect the synonyms. Calm, quiet, placid, serene, tranquil, all the words you should recollect. Why this uneasy calm? Which place is this? You can see a lonely man and a lot of pigeons over there. A man feeds the pigeons in front of the clock tower in Srinagar on Tuesday. Protests demanding a restoration of special status in the erstwhile state marked 6 years since the dilution of Article 370 on Tuesday. Earlier, it had based on Article 370 special status, and that got diluted. Who is this? Shravani, wonderful. What does it mean? Where is it? Coming to the next one, India-Philippines relations elevated to level of strategic partnership, says PM Modi. There are two words you have to focus on. One, Philippines. Before the names of some countries, though they are proper nouns, we use a definite article the. Important examples are the Netherlands, the Irish Republic, the Philippines. Common examples, the USA, the UK, the UAE, all these. And here we have one word. Elevated means to take to the higher level. I'm sure you all know that. But strategic partnership. Usually, when someone says, I'm preparing for competitive exams, we ask the question, what is your strategy? Their strategy means what? Plan. But here, strategy has a different connotation altogether. Here, strategic partnership. Here, strategic means related to defense. Strategic studies related to defense. That meaning also you have to know. Coming to the last headline, will hike tariff on India will hike tariff on India very substantially over the next 24 hours, says US President. Hike substantially, says. Three words you have to focus on. Hike, you all know the meaning. Hike in prices means what? Increase. And hiking, trekking, hiking, two words you have to recollect. Hiking means a long walk in lowland areas. Trekking goes with mountain region. What is this? Artificial is exemption for some countries. You have to learn the hard way. You have to learn the rules. Once you learn the rules, those examples you have to remember. Then, based on those examples, they give a question in the exam. Then you can easily spot the error. Please refer the dictionary. Who is this? You have given the meaning, pravalika. Beginning or starting. Okay. Initiate. Initiate means what to start. It's a foreign expression. And ab initio, beginning or starting. You can guess also sometimes based on the word. And hike you have got, then substantially. I always tell students when you read the Hindi paper for 6 months, your English will improve substantially, means considerably. An important word. Says US President, says reporting verb is in present. And then you have to recollect an important rule that goes with statements of that go with indirect speech. What is the rule? If the reporting verb is in present, present perfect or future, tenses don't change to a corresponding past tense. That you have to recollect. That's all from the front page of the Hindu. Let us go to today's editorial. The regular format, you're going to get the words, but not too many. Editorial analysis, mini mocks, questions based on exam topics. Let us, before I go to analysis, what is today's editorial about? Today's editorial is an important editorial because it deals with three dimensions. One, it deals with India's sovereignty. Second, it deals with Indian economy, specifically exports, foreign trade. Third, it deals with bilateral ties between two countries, the USA and India. And that way, multi-dimensional topic, very important from the exam point of view. Not too many words, though. What is the first one? Bully. This word goes with everyday English. If you remember, school level, you come across tall people, short people, skinny people, chubby people, very strong people. And usually, what happens? A tall guy, well built, heavy, will try to target someone who is very weak and will try to tease that person. That is known as bullying. Have you heard of this any time? It goes with intimidator, that's right, Vishnu. Yes, Naidu and Kranti Kumar. Wonderful. I appreciate you guys. Manisha also. Persecute has a little different meaning. Coming to bullying means what? Teasing, intimidating, threatening, frightening. But here it has been used in the editorial. That means it goes with effective English as well. It can be a noun, it can be a verb. To intimidate or coerce. Intimidate means a frighten. Coerce means a use force. Someone using strength or threats. There are two ways of doing that. One using strength, another using a threat. If you don't do this, I will do this. You're trying to threaten. Word forms bully, verb noun, bullying, bullied, bullies. All the forms are important. They go with everyday English, but here used in effective English context. Word combinations, bully tactics, school bully. Usually it goes with school level, we use this word. Cyber bully, bully someone into doing something. Bully pulpit, metaphorical use, platform to speak forcefully. This I haven't come across. And synonyms, intimidator, oppressor, tormentor. Torment also means the same, harass, trouble, coerce. Antonyms are protector, defender, supporter, encourager. Forbearance. This is an important word. Today, we have got an important word. Forbearance means what? Part of speech noun, patience, self control, restraint, refrain also you can say, and tolerance, especially in the face of provocation or difficulty. Imagine someone is trying to provoke you, someone is trying to instigate you, provoke you, incite you, but you don't get tempted, you maintain a lot of patience. That is known as forbearance, an important word, a positive word. Word forms forbearance, noun form, forbear, verb, forbearing, adjective, forbearingly, adverb. All the forms are important. Word combinations, considerable forbearance, act of forbearance, show, display, forbearance, exercise, forbearance. Synonyms, Patience, restraint, tolerance, leniency we cannot use here. Lenient in a way opposite of strict, and strict, stringent, positive words. Lenient, it has a negative connotation. Antonyms: impatience, intolerance, agitation, hastiness. Again, we cannot use hasty. Hasty means you're trying to do things in a hurry. There's a saying in English. What is that saying? Haste makes waste. Have you heard of that any time? Means never do things in a hurry. Ostensible, an important word they have given in SSC, both SSC and banks many a time. Something seems to be true but may not be true. Part of speech adjective, meaning. Stated or appearing to be true, but not necessarily so. Supposed to, seems to be true, but may not be true. Word forms: ostensible, ostensibly. Both the word forms are important. Word combinations: ostensible reason, ostensible motive, purpose, neutral. Synonyms: apparent. Apparent we have got many a time. What does it mean? Obvious. Something goes without saying. Alleged, seeming, supposed. Here we cannot use this. You can use, but not in the real sense. Antonyms: real, genuine, actual, authentic. Not too many words, but important editorial. Let us see how it starts, how it goes. Bullying tactics. Who is bullying whom? The US President Donald Trump. He is trying to bully India. That is a backdrop information. Exactly, Kranti Kumar. Seems to be true but may not be. On India pushing back against the US, the EU. Push back. Someone tries to force you a lot, then you try to resist. That is like pushing back. India is trying to push back two. One is the US, the other one, the European Union. Depend exactly. Who is this? Vishnu, wonderful. What is the main idea? India cannot allow the US or EU to decide its choice of trade partners. Cannot allow, should not allow also would have been better. India is a sovereign country. When you read the preamble, introduction to constitution, how does it go? India is a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. And sovereign means we are independent. No one can control us. And based on that main idea, India cannot allow the US or EU to decide its choice of trade partners. India has its own choice. Someone should not tell us with which country we have to do trade. That is none of their business, strictly speaking. But it is not that easy. Let us see how it goes. I'm sure you all have the background information because I've done a few editorials. Present scenario, and to provide the backdrop information, ever since the US, ever since Donald Trump became the US president for the second term, he has been targeting, he has been targeting many countries, especially India, Canada, and China. And against India, why is he not happy with India? A few reasons. One reason, he is not happy with the tariffs, so he has imposed 25% plus additional also he is going to. Second, immigration. Immigration can be justified, but he went beyond a limit that cannot be justified. No country wants illegal people to stay in the country. That way, Trump's stand can be justified. But he is targeting Indians. He told big companies in the US not to hire Indian IT professionals. That is going beyond the limit. Third one, Trump is not happy with India buying oil from Russia. Against this backdrop, he has targeted India. After months of considerable forbearance, means considerable patience, the statement by the Ministry of External Affairs MEA on Monday, August 4, 2025, pushing back against the US and the European Union for targeting India is significant. What is significant here? India has waited for 3-4 months patiently with forbearance, but now it has given a statement. And that statement is like pushing back the USA and the European Union. And the editorial opines it comes as a an important thing, and it is important. This pushback is significant. What is the meaning of significant? Important. The statement came 2 hours after Mr. Trump had announced the penalty tariffs against India substantially above the current 25% rate set to go into place this week for importing, processing, and selling Russian oil. This talks about Donald Trump has targeted India, and he's not happy because India is buying oil from Russia. And 2 hours after Donald Trump's stand, the statement came out. The statement came 2 hours after Mr. Trump had announced. First action, Trump announced. Second action, statement from India. First action, when two actions happen in the past, one after the other, for the first action, we should use the past perfect. Second action, we should use past tense. Here came second action, past. Had announced first action, past perfect. This you have to recollect, very important. What had he announced? Penalty tariffs against India substantially above the current 25% rate set to go into place this week. Why? For importing, processing, and selling Russian oil. A day earlier, a senior Trump aide, aide means help, aide means someone who is next to the key person all the time. And he has given a statement. He had accused India, again, had accused the past perfect, of financing Russia's war in Ukraine. This is not acceptable for India. Trump aide says India is financing Russian war in Ukraine, and that is not acceptable statement. And on July 18th, 2025, the EU had announced the sanctions on India's Vadina refinery, partially Russian owned, and secondary sanctions that will affect Indian refiners. First one from the US, second one from the European Union. European Union targeted a particular refinery, this one, and it is partially Russian owned. Russia also has a stake. And secondary sanctions that will affect Indian refiners. Sanctions means restrictions. As such, sanction is a positive word. But in this context, impose sanctions against a particular country, impose restrictions against a particular country. The MEA spokesperson said that the measures were unjustified and unreasonable. Whatever the US says, whatever the European Union says, cannot be justified and not reasonable, based on something like whims and fancies, or based on whims, means no rationality, no thinking behind. As the US and why it cannot be justified, this is an important idea, point. Indian government says what the USA says, what the European says cannot be justified and not based on any rationality. Why? As the US and the EU continue to trade with Russia for goods, including LNG, critical minerals, and nuclear fuel requirements. This is contradictory. This is nothing but double standards, nothing but hypocrisy. On the one hand, the USA and the European Union, what do they say? Don't do business with Russia. On the other hand, they themselves are doing business with Russia. When they are doing, how can they tell some other country not to do? That is not just, that cannot be justified. Based on that, unjustified. The statement also said that it was the US that had encouraged India to keep buying Russian oil to stabilize global markets. This is again not a valid point to be noted. Initially, it was the US which encouraged India to buy oil from Russia because that time they thought there would be global crisis, economy point of view. To avoid that, the US encouraged India to buy oil from Russia. But that happened not during Trump's administration. Before Trump, Biden. Something the Biden administration had confirmed. Now Trump has become the president, things have changed. The government said that in comparison to the Western countries, India's Russian oil purchases are a vital national compulsion. For us, it is a vital, important national compulsion. as a result of the conflict in Ukraine. Because of the conflict in Ukraine, for India, it has become something like national compulsion, means something important, vital, crucial, indispensable. Adding that India would safeguard its national interests and economic security. Because it has become something like national compulsion, obviously, for us, national interest is more important than anything else and will go to any extent to protect, safeguard its national interest and economic security. The MEA statement is the first such clear response on the issue since the Ukraine conflict. Since the Ukraine conflict started, this has been the first crystal clear statement from the Ministry of External Affairs. The stand has been made crystal clear. Taken with Union Minister Piyush Goyal's statement last week on the US announcement of 25% reciprocal tariffs on India from August 7th, Monday's statement indicates New Delhi's growing frustration with the US's. India is right now frustrated. Trump is also frustrated. Why is India frustrated? Growing frustration with the US is increasingly offensive positions against India. Trump has given damaging statements last week. He said Indian economy is a dead economy. That is not acceptable. Second thing, he said he went in for a tie-up with Pakistan, oil exploration. Against that backdrop, he said in future Pakistan may sell oil to India. That is also not acceptable. Against India, including on immigration, four areas: trade negotiations, Operation Sindoor, and Pakistan, and India's BRICS membership. Trump is not happy with India. Four areas: one, immigration related; second, trade negotiations; third one, Operation Sindoor and Pakistan. He claimed peace and truce. He said he played a major role, but India hasn't accepted that. And BRICS membership also, India's role he is not happy with. It is unclear how and to what extent the government is prepared to stand up to the bullying tactics of Mr. Trump. Something is not clear. How India is going to deal with Trump, how to what extent India can go to stand up against Donald Trump, his bullying tactics, not clear. Mr. Trump said on Tuesday that India hasn't been a good trading partner, a possible reference to trade talks and the failure of mini deal. Talks have been going on, but they haven't come to any understanding. Mini deal also they could not finalize. Ostensibly, seems to be true, but may not be true. Over India's resistance on agricultural market access, dairy products, and GM foods. I did one editorial related to this. That time we came across India is very particular about safeguarding or protecting ring fencing. We got the expression ring fencing. Remember, certain areas, agriculture, dairy products, and GM foods. It doesn't want to give access to any other country. Outside influence, it doesn't want to have. How does it end? While it is hoped that New Delhi will continue to engage Washington and Brussels to conclude their respective trade talks, the MEA statement is meant to make a larger point. There's a hope that India is going to finalize a deal with the USA and also with the European Union. But there's a larger point India is trying to make. What is that larger point? Neither the US nor the EU, you can say neither also. An important conjunction, you all know the function. Neither the US nor the EU can decide which country India will partner or trade with. They cannot impose their whims and fancies on India because India is a sovereign country. They cannot decide with which country we have to do business. That message is being underlined, highlighted in visits by Security Advisor Ajit Doval and External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar to Moscow. In their visits to Moscow, they have made it crystal clear. India is not going to allow any country to impose anything on India because India is a sovereign country. To prepare for the Russian president visit to India later this year. Seems Russian president is going to visit, and before that they are trying to make something very clear. India is not going to allow any country to decide or dictate terms regarding with whom it has to do business. India's sovereignty is non-negotiable, a clear statement. We cannot compromise when it comes to sovereignty. India's sovereignty is non-negotiable, and its foreign policy choices cannot be manipulated by other countries, no matter how significant their own ties with India are. USA and India may be close, but it doesn't mean they can decide what to do, what not to do. That will not be allowed, cannot be allowed. Main idea is being reiterated. That's all about today's editorial, an important one. Try to answer the questions based on reading comprehension skill and also listening skill. Not compromised, yes, Sangeeta. After a long time, I suppose. New student Ganga, yes, protect. What is a central theme? If one student responds, I will tell what is the answer. At least one student has to respond. Central theme. Manisha is a first one, Naidu is a first one, I'm sorry, and so many students, they got it right. India's assertive response to Western pressure regarding its trade choices. Assertive, an important word. Assertive means to be firm. I always tell youngsters, tomorrow you get the job. At the workplace, you want to follow the rules, but your boss may say, no problem for this time, you ignore the rules and do this. But you should have the courage, the confidence to say no. Then we say you should be assertive. That is very important, an important word. Question number 2. Which of the following best describes the tone of the editorial? What is the tone of the editorial? What is the writer's, what exactly does the writer want to convey? Here there is no humor, and neutral and analytical, you can hold it. Critical and assertive, hold that also. Emotional and lamenting. Lament means to feel bad, to feel guilty. But here it is not neutral and analytical. One word is a clue. It is critical and assertive. Why assertive? Categorically, the editorial states when it comes to India's sovereignty, it is non negotiable. No one can dictate India the terms, what to do and how to do, and who the partners have to be. Answer is C. Very good. Explicit info based question. According to the MEA, why are the sanctions and penalties imposed by the US and EU considered unjustified? They are trying to impose sanctions against India, both the USA and the EU. Why is it not justified? Why does it come under the label unjustified, cannot be justified? Because they are maintaining double standards. Vishnu is the first one, very good. What is the answer? C is the answer. Then I see Chandu and Charan, all these students. Because the US and EU themselves continue to trade with Russia. On the one hand, they're trading with Russia. On the other hand, they're telling India not to trade with Russia. That is nothing but it cannot be justified. It is double standards and hypocrisy. Implicit info. Which of the following is implicitly suggested by the editorial? Implicit, implied means what? Indirect. India is planning to stop importing Russian oil? No. The MEA was hesitant to speak up? No. The US and EU are not united in their policies toward India? No. India is willing to take diplomatic and economic risks to assert its sovereignty. No one has responded. I have read out all the 4 options. Yes, Vishnu again, the first one. Answer is Chandu, Naidu, Kumar. They all got it right. Bhargavi, Pravalika, Manisha, all. D is the answer. Summary based question. What best summarizes the editorial's overall argument? What is the overall argument here? India must reduce oil dependence. No. India must stay neutral. Not correct. India should assert its sovereign right to choose its trade partners and resist coercion. Yes. Answer is C. Yes. Now I see more students. Gayatri, Geeta, Shyamala, Srinu, Divya, Sudhir. Fifth one answer is C. Very good. A lot of students have got it right. Now let us go to mini mocks, questions based on exam topics. Two questions based on error location, two questions based on fillers, one based on word usage. Try to get all, and after that we have effective English, 5 idioms, important idioms. Identify the part of the sentence that contains an error. India's long cricketing tour of England concluded with a gripping stalemate and ended with a 2-2 verdict in favor of both teams. Not an easy one. That doesn't matter, Satish Kumar. Never focus on which option. That has no relevance at all. You should think what is the answer. All 5A, it doesn't matter. All 5B, doesn't matter. This is not an easy one. You got to read meticulously. Only then you will be able to spot the error. India's long cricketing tour of England, nothing wrong, concluded. You have to focus on the verb concluded. Concluded with a gripping stalemate. Here we cannot use a preposition with. We have to say concluded in a gripping stalemate. Conclude in something, not with something. No, nothing wrong with C. Concluded in a gripping stalemate and ended with a 2-2 verdict in favor of both teams. I think only Vishnu has got it right. B has an error. After that, I see Pravalika also got it right. Concluded with is wrong. Concluded in. One more question based on error location. Modern day players have no such luxuries as a cramped year long schedule means rest becomes a rare commodity. This is also not easy, mind you, guys. Quite challenging. You got to read meticulously, understand the context. Only then you can spot the error. Modern day players have no such luxuries. Have no such luxuries, nothing wrong. As a cramped year long schedule means rest becomes a rare commodity. It seems to be right. And under pressure, you may go for the fifth option, no error. But there is an error. I told you guys in English, when it comes to conjunctions, to express a reason, we have 4 conjunctions: because, since, for, as. And what is the difference? Because, since used for a strong reason, as and for used for a weak reason. Based on that, here we have an error in the third part. We cannot use as, we have to use because. What is the correct conjunction to be used in this context? Because. Have no such luxuries. Why? Because a cramped year long schedule means rest becomes a rare commodity. Here, rest is a noun. Who has got this right? Question number 2. Who is this? Srinu says B, but 7. Nothing wrong with C. There's an error in, yes, there is an error in the third part, C. As is not correct, it should be because. Filler based are 2 questions. In an age when 4-day tests are being debated, this series stood as to the beauty of 5-day cricket. Beauty of 5-day cricket. So context is positive. Then you cannot think of a negative word like hurdle, resistance, diversion. There are 2 positive words: tribute, motivation. It stood as a motivation, we don't say. It stood as what? A tribute to the beauty of 5-day test, 5-day match. Siraj's performance across 5 tests was to his stamina and skill. Again, the context is positive. We need a positive word. Here, contrast negative, deviation negative, reaction negative, relation neutral. But testimony, proof, evidence, testimony to his stamina and skill. Very good. Testimony. The next one, word usage. We have a word stalemate. In which sentence properly used? The negotiations ended in a stalemate with no side willing to compromise. This seems right. He scored a stalemate century. That is wrong. The fans cheered the stalemate win of their team. Not correct. Her speech stalemated. It is not a verb. The coach stalemated. Not correct. So what is the answer? The very first one is the answer. Very good. Please mention the question number, all of you. Question number 5, no, who is this? Chandu is the first one. Then I see others, they have got it right. Let us go to effective English. 5 idioms, all idioms are important. Let sleeping dogs lie means what? To avoid restarting an old argument or problem. Look before you leap, to think carefully before taking action. Learn the ropes to understand the basics of how something works. Lend an ear to pay close attention and listen carefully. This is an easy one. Lay it on thick to exaggerate emotions or compliments. 25314. So, what is the answer? Oh, you guys are still working. I think a few seconds lag is there. Naidu is the first one. Chandu also. 235. 25314. Wonderful. 25314. These are the words you got yesterday. Finale means a final match. You all know that. Stalemate, dead end. No, it's like a draw. No team wins. Snatch, to grab something from someone. Whimsical, unpredictable based on the context. But whims and fancies based on emotions, spontaneous, no rationality, no reasoning. Rousing, rousing means exciting, stirring. And cramped means a tight, very tight schedule. Verb, energetic, vigor. Prone, vulnerable. Cherish, to enjoy a lot. Wilt, to become weak. Sag, droop. And teething problems. Initial and temporary problems when we start a particular project. Whims and fancies. Yes, Vishnu. Zeal. Yes, Chandu. Very good. Become weak also, you can say. That's all for today. I hope you guys have got enriched. Thanks for being with me till the fag end of the session. Have a nice day. I will see you guys tomorrow. But before I wind up the session, 2 important notifications. One, IBPS clerk, then SBI clerk. You have 2.5 months. Be focused, use your time effectively, and try to get. Chances are very bright, and the numbers also pretty good. With proper preparation, 2 months, 2.5 months, streamlining your efforts, you can definitely get the job. Thank you very much. I wish you all the best.